Hello, my awesome students. This is Module 2, my first video for Module 2, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with annotated bibliography. So let's get right into this. Let me move myself over there. And so if you come into Module 2, the first thing you're going to see, of course, is the overview. That's what you'll always see, right? So make sure you click on all these things. Of course, you have to go through them in order. And what you'll do is you'll just go in here and check out what it says that you should be doing, right? So take note of these things. Important note, anytime you see important note, especially if it's in bold, but even if it's not in bold, if it says important note, that's something you should take note of. In this case, the reason why this is here, the reason why it's important is because on your syllabus, I believe it says that you only have to have 2 sources on the annotated bibliography, but now you have to have 3. So that has changed, but I just didn't bother going back and changing one little thing like that on the syllabus, so and redoing the syllabus for that. So just note that there are 3 sources you have to have on the annotated bib. So that's one big thing I want to point out. Just make sure you do all these things. Read pages 84 to 90 of the Easy Writer. That'll give you some important information about how to do, do this kind of stuff, right? So always read the Easy Writer stuff. If you don't have the books yet, you got to make sure you get those because we work in them, as you can already tell, right away. Especially the Joining Academic Conversations book, which I refer to as the JAC. So you want to make sure that you get those and have those ready to go. So notice that the next thing it talks about is the topic activity. We'll touch on that a little bit. There's a discussion question. And then the exercise that's needing to do. You've got a few things to do this week. That's kind of more than usual, so don't let that scare you. It's not typical for you to have like 3 different things to do in the same week. So don't let that bother you. Now, this is important really here to pay attention to. And I definitely want to talk about this. When you let me go back to number 5. The exercise, make sure that you review the exercise instructions. Okay. In the welcome module, there's a thing there that talks about the general exercise instructions. You have to read that, make sure you understand how to do your exercises properly and format them properly. Okay, so there's a certain way they need to be formatted, and that formatting, of course, is based on the tips and formatting and tips video you should have already watched and commented on for the grade for week 1. So, miscellaneous items. Miscellaneous items are required for this course. You have to have 1 for each chapter. Basically what it boils down is 1 for each chapter. And what you need to do is you need to, the miscellaneous items are basically work that you do on your own. In other words, they're not work that I assign to you. They're simply things that you do to help yourself, right? That allow you to go a little above and beyond what's required. So those things here, as you can see, they cannot be work that you've already been assigned from me or to do in the activities or anything like that. It can't be stuff that's already been assigned to you. Okay, so it has to be work that you do of your own accord, your own volition, to show me that you are utilizing the JAC textbook, the Easy Writer textbook, that you're doing note-taking, anything else like that that you can show to strengthen your credibility as a writer, as a student, and all that stuff. And that will go, of course, into your final portfolio. So that's important. That's got to be, there's 7 of them, like I said, 1 for each chapter. You can do those and turn them in. You don't need to turn them in to me before the end of the semester, but you should do them. As we do each chapter, you should do them. Because, for example, if you choose, like I said, they go along with each chapter. So if you don't do any of the miscellaneous items until the very end of the semester, you're going to feel like, why am I even doing this? Now I got to go back and do all this stuff that I did that was from chapter 1 and 2 and 3. Well, that would be, I'm sorry to say it, I'm going to be blunt, that would be your own fault for not doing it as you needed to do it. Okay? So make sure that you do those things as, for each chapter as you're doing the chapter work. Okay? Because that's the whole reason why they're there. That's the whole reason why we require it. Now, you can also provide things such as having tutors. Like if you have a tutor help you, they can help you face-to-face in Colson Hall, or they can help you online virtually. And if you have them help you with the project, then you can ask them for something to kind of shows that they did that. Like it could just be a little email to you, and then you could pass that you copy and paste that email into your onto a page, onto like a Word document, and then that could be one of your miscellaneous items. So it's anything like that that you can do to show you're doing effort above and beyond what is being asked of you in the course. Okay, like it says here, anything else that you do of your own volition that helps you to do the class work. And then it says here, ask me about something specific that's not listed, and I can let you know if it'll be acceptable. So if there's something you do and you think this should count, run it by me. Email it to me and tell me what you did, and I'll let you know, hey, yes, great, go ahead and use it, or I'll say, no, that's not quite what what's required. So, but feel free to do that, okay? Miscellaneous items, here's just a note letting you know that they have to be done by the end of the semester. You should be doing them throughout the semester and then saving them. My advice would be saving them in maybe in on your computer in a file that says English 102 portfolio, and then just have all that stuff right there to go in your portfolio. So save everything. That way you'll have everything that you need. Okay. Or if you like to use Google Docs, Google files, you can save it in Google. That's up to you. Totally up to you. As I mentioned in week 1, in an announcement to you all in week 1, the formatting tips video said that you had to use Google Classroom, Google Docs and stuff. That was up until this semester. Starting right now, when we have to use eCampus, that's no longer a requirement. So what you should be doing is writing your papers in Microsoft Word. They need to be in Word so that when you submit them, I can interact with them the way I need to in the assignment box. Okay, so they need to be done in Microsoft Word. Okay, if you're using a Mac or something and you do it in Pages, you'll just have to convert it over. Okay, but everything has to be turned in as a Microsoft Word document. Now I hesitate to say this because I really would prefer you do the Microsoft Word document. But if you like to write in Google Docs, just make sure you submit the actual document and not a share link. Okay, you got to write the paper. For example, if you're doing an exercise and you like to write it in Google Docs, write it in Google Docs, but don't save it as a share file. Download it to your computer, and then you can add that. Then you can take it from your computer and put it into the assignment. Okay, so that's important. You got to make sure that everything is turned in. Pretty much everything's turned in as a Word document, maybe a Google Doc, but preferably a Word document. Okay, so that's all about that part. Now let me get back out of here and touch on, well, you know what, let's just let that be the end of this video here for the overview, so that I'm not taking too much time in one video. I've already got over 8 minutes. So that'll be it for video 1. Look for another video that will talk about the sample ABIB and the annotated bibliography and stuff like that.